Hello lovely simmers, SimsEclaire here and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing my last video on my old computer. So my new computer is sitting in front of me. It arrived yesterday after I got home from work, and unfortunately I had already started this build on my old computer and I didn't feel comfortable going like mid-build switch over because I was a little nervous about losing things or, not transferring my files over properly. So I did want to finish this build before I, went ahead and switched over to my new computer. So I real quickly finished this. Now, that does mean, unfortunately, that it is a little rushed, but I still really like how this house turned out. The majority of the work went into the exterior, and I have to say that this is probably one of my favorite exteriors I've ever done. I built this, you can see it on the left here, I built this platform that is on top of the, what's it called, terrain tool. I built a mountain and then I put the platform on top. So then that way it kind of looks like it is coming off at the side of the mountain. And I also deleted the second or the bottom floor on the whole left side of the build. So basically how I built this to get it up one level is I built a bottom floor as you usually start with in The Sims, built a floor on top of it, and then deleted that bottom floor. So that way it wasn't, excessively high in terms of placing things on a second level or above ground. It didn't have to sit on any columns, it didn't have to sit on anything. It could just float in the air and look as though it was sitting on the mountain. So I was really happy with how that turned out. And then there's a little walkway, like an outdoor walkway, and underneath the outdoor walkway is a garage. And the garage just has one car in it. You'll see when we get to the interior. It's a very small garage. For being honest, I had to shrink down one of the debug cars in order to get it to work. So the cars don't match technically, because the one on the outside I end up placing is the normal size, and then the one on the inside is a size smaller. But I think you can't really tell because you never see the two of them next to each other. And then going back to talking about the exterior, which is what we're working on now, I'm trying to figure out the placement of some of these column pieces. So I was really trying to make this look not as similar to my other modern builds, because I feel like when I do modern builds I get stuck in the same angled roofs and very flat walls, not a whole lot going on in the exterior. So I wanted to try and kind of change it up a little bit. So I have two column pieces. This one in the front's going to end up being a chimney. So the one in the front is going to end up being a chimney, and then the one in the back is strictly just some windows and a whole bunch of bright lights and everything to try and kind of brighten up the place. The windows look into the kitchen. I also wanted to say the floor plan of this house ends up being really weird. You'll see when we go into the interior, but basically there's no access to the bottom level of the house except for the garage, and then the garage leads you upstairs to the top deck, and then that leads you into the kitchen and the formal living area. And then the bedrooms are upstairs, and then the family room is downstairs. So it's kind of a weird layout, but I also think that kind of, helped spur my creativity a little bit, because I always stick to almost basically the same floor plan in my family homes. There's, the downstairs has the living room, the kitchen, the blah, 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 blah. And so I think it kind of helped that this one was a little different. And then, sorry if I sound distracted while I'm doing this. I am so excited. I just keep staring at the box with my computer in it. I cannot wait to set it up, and I cannot wait to show it to you guys. So I'm just kind of, I'm sitting here tapping my foot on the floor oh my god, I just want to open up my new computer. But anyway, now we're going to start the interior soon, but I am going to finish up on some window placement. And down here is where I build this kind of custom garage. I really wanted the garage door to be all glass, so I used these Machino windows and some columns, and I just placed them on top of intersect them with each other, and then raise up the ground a little bit to make it look as though the ground is even with where the garage door is. And then I used some terrain paint to create kind of a road or a driveway. It's a little weird because I don't know where you would drive on this island. There isn't even a bridge that connects this island to the other island, but this lot does have a pier attached to it, so in theory they would have a boat, but maybe they put their cars on the boat so that way they have something to drive around with when they go into town. But so yeah, I created just this kind of like makeshift driveway. I made it look very rustic in comparison to the house, but in the pictures I'm pretty sure half of my terrain paint got deleted anyway, because it doesn't really look like any of this green terrain paint is on top of in the screenshot that I took, so I'm not 100% sure what happened with that one. And then I'm going to go ahead and place some of the rest of the windows. I was going to try and use non-eco lifestyle windows, but I just couldn't. I don't know what it was. I didn't like how any other windows looked. It was just like the few eco lifestyle ones that I didn't use, they were just too bulky, and then the base game ones didn't have the right color because I really wanted them to be black windows, and in order to get like straight black windows, it was either these or the Snowy Escape ones, and the Snowy Escape ones weren't long enough. So I did decide that I wanted to do just these eco lifestyle ones. So don't kill me, because I know I always do eco lifestyle ones. But now and then going on to the back of the house here, you can see this is where the little balcony is. Now this is where the garage leads you up to. So it like I said, it's a very odd combination of rooms and stuff. But now we're going into the interior. So this is the garage, and this is, like I said, there's one car, and then I get a couple of weird clutter items over here on the left, and then on the right I do a little laundry machine kind of area. I get a shelving unit, and then obviously the washer dryer, and then a laundry basket. And I made sure to put the laundry basket down here so that way I could remember, or I didn't have to remember to place them in the bedrooms, because I knew going into this that I was going to do this side of the house first, and then I was going to have to go to work and come back and do the other side of the house. So I had a feeling I'd forget to place the laundry baskets if I didn't place it down here. And I keep yawning. I am so sorry. I worked this morning, and usually I'm not this tired after work, but for some unknown reason I am exhausted and I just keep yawning, and I am so sorry. But now we're on to the upstairs balcony. So like I said, you saw that staircase led up to here, and then there is the the chairs from the Perfect Patio stuff, the white and black wicker ones, and then I'm getting a couple of different sculptures and vases onto that table right there. And then just to kind of make things a little bit more interesting, I did add a couple of wall decorations. I added the one from Eco Lifestyle, and then here I'm adding the panels. They're not panels, they're like these wood sticks, and here is where I kind of like had to merge them all together and raise them up so that way they would go above the roof as well, or go onto the roof as well, my bad. And then I'm adding a couple, I use these other Perfect Patio wall decorations here just to fill in the space, and then we are about to go on into the interior. Now the interior is something a little different. So as you can see, I'm using this brick wallpaper, which I don't use all that often, but I'm also using these backyard stuff, no, Perfect Patio stuff countertops, which has the, what's it called? The stone. It's not marble, it's the stone on the front of them, and it has the stone, and I thought that they looked really good with this brick wallpaper that I was using, and it's also something a little different, you know. And I think the shape of this kitchen's a little different too. You can see I have this countertop, island. My words are escaping me today. Wow, I have this island here, and I ended up adding an extra counter. I wasn't initially going to do that, but I didn't have anywhere to put the sink, because all of the counters against the walls are flipped around backwards, so you don't see the weird shell or the weird drawers in them. So that way it was just the straight stone, so the sink wouldn't actually go on any of those. So I did have to add another extra counter so that I could place the sink. And then we're going to go through and we're going to do some cluttering. So I clutter up this kitchen a lot, which is a little off kilter for the fact that it is a modern kitchen, but I also figured that, I mean, a family was living here, so I definitely thought that they would have, you know, some clutter. They would need some stuff. There also isn't any cabinets. It is all open shelving, so besides what goes in the bottom cabinets, they would definitely have a whole bunch of stuff just hanging around. But I was able to find enough clutter to fill up all of the shelves. I was really surprised, actually. I use my red shelf a lot just to get things into the exact place that I wanted them. But I pretty much was able to cover up every single thing with the shelf, and very easily too. There wasn't I do some repeating. It's not, you know, like not every item is different. I think I used the plates on the other side as well as from here. But I was, it kind of worked out in my favor though, because like I said, there isn't any closed shelving. So obviously they would have more than one area to put their plates. And then speaking of, I don't know if you guys have noticed, this is a weird tangent, but these plates are called paranormal plates, and that made me think about the new paranormal stuff pack that we're getting. I haven't been able to watch any of the Game Changers videos yet because for some unknown reason my YouTube isn't working. I don't know what it is, but I was trying to watch it on my TV because the new TV we have is a smart TV, so it has YouTube built into it, and it, like, every time I tried to watch anything it kept logging me out. So I was really confused, and even like trying to do Netflix and stuff, it wasn't working. So I don't know if it's an issue with the internet, like if the TV isn't properly connected to the internet. But I am going to have to check that out a little bit because it's totally going to mess with my plan of, watching TV while I play on my new computer with The Sims. And then we're moving on from the kitchen to the dining room. This is the dining room, and then it's the long table from City Living, I believe it is, and then I'm using the Seasons chairs. I thought that they worked really well together. They're almost the same color white. It's a little off, but I think it's close enough. And then the ends of the white table are gray, and then the backs of these chairs are gray, so I thought that they looked pretty nice. And then I'm going to use one of the Eco Lifestyle shelves over here. I cut it out of the video, but I did, and I was initially going to try and build like my own shelving unit and do like debug pieces with with shelves from the game, but I couldn't get it to work. I think it was the space I was trying to do it in because it's right against that wall and the window, so I couldn't have it go over too far to the right. So I think I was just having an issue with, you know, fitting it in. And then I placed an ottoman below the shelving unit. It's a little cramped, but I'm pretty sure your Sims can still walk around it. And it's a really nice, I think it's a nice feature. It kind of filled in the space a little bit, and it matched everything that was going on. And then, like I said, up here is the formal living room. So it's this tuft couch from Get Famous, and then the retro mid-century modern chairs from Get Famous as well, and then just a plant in the center. And I do a couple of decorations. I thought that this would be where the family, you know, had friends over and did their entertaining. So over here in the corner I add this City Living portrait, a lamp, and then also a speaker, so that way their Sims could sit and enjoy music. And, you know, maybe the kids sit up here and do their homework so they were playing music, although both kids do have desks in their rooms. I thought that the kids were twins, twin girls in my head, but obviously you could have whatever you wanted. And one of them is a little bit more, I don't want to say girly, but she's not, you know, heavy into sports. She's kind of just, you know, like, I don't know. She doesn't really have a hobby. Let's put it that way. She doesn't really have a hobby. She doesn't really have anything she's super interested in. She just kind of goes about her day and, you know, has her friends and has fun. And then the other one is like into sports. She wants to be a good athlete. And so, yeah, that was kind of my thinking for the girls. And like I said, I did think they were twins. So they are both kids. I have two kids' bedrooms, and they have different color schemes as well. One is this white and blue kind of muted tones, and then the other one is like more browns and purples. And we're going into the white and blue one here. I was initially going to use these beds so that way each twin could have like their own canopy bed, but then I really didn't like it. I don't know what it was. It just, I didn't like how it looked in terms of like the canopy with the wallpapers that I had chosen, and then I also wasn't a fan of any of the colors, so I did decide just to go with these kids' room beds. These might be parenthood beds. I might have misspoken there. I think they are parenthood beds, which this is so sad because I literally just did this bedroom like maybe 20 minutes ago. Because I finished this right before I did the voiceover, so yeah, I don't know why. I can't remember what any of this stuff is from. But I initially did the layout like this for this room. I do end up changing it when I put the desk in because I realized I forgot to give them a dresser, and I don't like to have rooms without dressers because in my head it isn't realistic, so I don't like to do it. And so I do end up kind of changing the layout of where that bear is and the the toy box, and then that's where the dresser ends up going. And then I'm placing a couple of clutter items over here on the desk. I thought that maybe they used the desk as their vanity as well, like it was a dual purpose kind of a thing, and because that's what I used to do. I had a large IKEA desk and then I put a mirror above it so that way it would kind of function as both, because you know it saves space and money. And then in here, this is the sim that I thought was a little bit more into sports, and like I said, it has the brown wood tones and then the purple and pink tones as well, and I do give them pretty much the same toys. I just kind of change up the clutter items, you know, make the decorations look a little bit more geared towards sports. I used these jerseys from the kids room stuff, which I don't think I have ever used ever. I've never really seen a purpose of them, even in like sports related rooms. I never really saw why. I don't know, because I don't know what they are, I guess, because they're jerseys, obviously. I get that they're jerseys, but they're signed. So, but I don't know why a kid would have them. Like, maybe it's their idols jerseys or something. I don't know. I wasn't into sports as a kid. I did not have people's jerseys on my wall. I played sports, but I wasn't, you know, like obsessed with it. So I'm not 100% sure why you would have that. But anyway, moving on to the parents' bedroom. I'm using this Seasons bed because I really liked how the wood tones looked with the wallpapers that I had chosen. And then the Eco Lifestyle curtains again. And then I'm going to add some end tables. And I don't put a lot of clutter in this room. I definitely thought that the parents, because they decorated, you know, they're in charge of decorating the entire house, and the entire house isn't that cluttered. I didn't think that they would have a whole lot of clutter themselves. And then I give them their dresser right across from the bed, and your Sims should be able to walk across here. There is one whole tile in between that ottoman and the dresser, so it should be okay. Let me know if it's not, because I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to remember to play test this house, because that's just how my brain is going right now. And then going into here, this is the ensuite for the parents' bedroom. It's pretty much the same stuff from the other bathroom. I just kind of copy and pasted and just rearranged it a little bit to make more sense for how this bathroom was. There's a lot of windows for this being a bathroom. I did notice that, but I think it's okay because it's an upstairs bathroom, so it's an upstairs balcony that it leads out onto, so really no one's going to be up there except for the people who live in this house. And then going out to this patio, I couldn't really find anything that fit in terms of chairs, so I did decide just to give them a little meditation corner with a yoga mat and a meditation stool, another speaker, and then a chess table. And then we're going to go downstairs, and that is the actual family room. So this is the more cozy style one. This has their TV and their kind of more activities. I was going to build a custom TV unit, but I wasn't liking, you know, with all the lighting in this room and all the different, like the wood tones and everything, I wasn't liking how any of the swatches for those cabinets were looking, so I decided not to do it. And then I used this My First Pet Stuff side table, which I didn't know came in non-plastic swatches, and I think it's because I try to avoid using that pack as much as possible, because I've gotten a lot of feedback that a lot of people don't own that pack, so I tried not to use it in my build so that way you guys aren't missing anything. But this table is really nice in the non-plastic swatches. I don't know what it is. It's a really nicely made table, and honestly I wish I had one of those, because I really like how like the glass looks. And my one complaint is I wish you could put things on that bottom shelf, and I know technically I have the red OMSP shelf so I could do it, but I think it'd be nice if there was a slot on that second level of that table for us to put clutter items on. And then over here I get a lamp and some pictures, and then I'm going to do like a little side table. And I think on the side table I end up just getting a couple of vases. Yeah, some vases, a sculpture, and then I end up putting those wall decorations from base game. I shrink them down a little bit and make them look as though they're leaning against the wall, so that way it's kind of fills up the table a little bit without being too redundant. And then I also add a bookshelf over here, and then a little chair to kind of create a reading nook. I thought maybe one of the parents really enjoyed reading. And then we're going to go outside where I place a hot tub and a small seating area. But besides that, that is it for this build, so I hope you all enjoyed this one. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye!